Everywhere you look, UV printing looks perfect. Crisp acrylic signs, custom tumblers, textured varnish effects, vibrant colors that pop. But when you actually talk to people who own one, at expos, in Facebook groups, in DMs, at local sign shops, you start hearing a very different story. Blurry prints, humidity problems, white ink clogs, late-night troubleshooting. So today, I want to walk you through what real owners experience after the excitement wears off. Not hype, not sales talk, just patterns I keep hearing from people actually running these machines. And if you're thinking about investing $6,000, $12,000, maybe even more, you need to hear this first. The number one misunderstanding? People think a UV printer is plug and play, like a paper printer. Load file, hit print, collect money. But when you talk to owners at trade shows or in industry groups, they'll tell you it's not just a printer. It's a mechanical system, a chemical system, a climate-sensitive machine, and a maintenance commitment. I've heard people say, my yellow stopped printing. My varnish looks thick. My edges look fuzzy. My alignment shifts slightly every job. And most of the time, it's not the design file, it's the environment. This is something almost nobody mentions in promotional videos. Humidity matters a lot. Too dry? Static builds up. Static causes ink misting. Misting causes blurry edges. Too humid? Varnish doesn't cure properly. Ink behaves heavier. Adhesion changes. I've spoken to shop owners who said winter gave them static nightmares. Others said rainy season made their varnish act strange. And here's the part people forget to budget for: humidifiers, dehumidifiers, temperature control, anti-static solutions. A UV printer isn't just a machine, it's an ecosystem. And if the ecosystem isn't stable, you'll see it in your prints. Even machines advertised as low maintenance still require maintenance. White ink especially. White ink is heavy. It settles. It clogs. Owners constantly mention running the printer every few days, circulation systems, head cleanings, manual wipe downs. If you let it sit too long, ink can dry, heads can clog, repairs can get expensive fast. One shop owner told me, "This machine wants to work. If you don't keep it busy, it gets angry." That stuck with me. A UV printer is not a hobby device. It expects consistency. At almost every expo, you'll hear this conversation. Should I buy cheaper overseas or pay more for local support? Both sides exist. Some people save 60 to 70% buying direct. They're technical. They like tinkering. They don't mind solving problems. Others say, I want someone I can call at 2 p.m. and get help immediately. Here's what I've observed from people who went the lower cost route. The machine can work, but support hours may not match your time zone. Parts might take longer to arrive, and you may end up figuring things out yourself. If you're comfortable with troubleshooting, learning industrial software, adjusting settings manually, you might do fine. If you want full hand-holding, budget accordingly. Cheap machine doesn't always mean cheap experience. This is another thing I constantly hear confusion about. Flatbed prints directly onto hard objects. More control, more space required, higher investment. Roll-to-roll prints onto film. You transfer later. Lower entry cost, simpler for some workflows. But neither of them is push-button magic. Roll-to-roll requires tension control and alignment. Flatbeds require understanding of height calibration and layering. And both require learning RIP software. You will learn new software. There's no shortcut there. UV printers can produce incredible results, but expectations need to match physics. Flatbeds love flat surfaces. Even slight curvature can affect focus. If your object varies in height even a little, detail can soften. I've talked to people trying to print on oddly shaped plastics or curved shells. It can work, but you need to understand, print height matters, distance matters, ink layering matters. This isn't like printing paper. You're dealing with physical objects. Most people think about the price of the machine. Few think about ownership cost. Ink? Manageable. But what about replacement heads, downtime, test prints, wasted substrates, environmental control, learning curve time? The real cost is in the first few months of experimentation. The shops that succeed treat it like a production tool, not a toy, not a side experiment, a serious piece of equipment. From everything I've heard and observed, UV printing works best for people who already sell hard goods, want to expand into signage or promotional items, have consistent order flow, don't mind learning software, don't mind troubleshooting. It's probably not ideal if you want passive income, print once a week, hate maintenance, or don't control your workspace environment. It rewards consistency. It punishes neglect. UV printing is powerful. It's versatile. It's fast. It's durable. It looks incredible when dialed in, but it's not beginner magic. The difference between frustration and profit? Preparation. Because a UV printer doesn't make money, a business makes money. The printer is just the tool. If you want, next video we can break down UV versus fabric DTF, ROI under 10K, or the worst case scenario math. You decide.